All right, so let's keep on rolling with lesson 4.5 in our algebra class. Next problem says here, what would be the system of the graph shown? Now, it might be a little harder in your paper, so I'm gonna do a little bit more coloring here. I didn't mean to do that. This is the solution space right here, right? It's like that darkened yellow. So the question is, what would be the two inequalities that make this system? Well, let's go with the red line first. All right, so first we'll go with the red line. So according to this red line, I have a y-intercept right there at what I think is 3. So there's your b value. So b equals 3, right? And again, what we're doing here is slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. I'm looking for that slope-intercept form. And then I think that this point right here is another nice point on the red line, which would be up 2 and right 1. So the slope here would be up 2 and right 1, which would just be the number 2. So your equation for your line is y equals 2x plus 3. Okay. Now, what do I know about the shading and the dashed solid? I know that this is a dashed line, and pertaining to the red, it would be the yellow shade, which is actually going below the red line. So it's below. So I believe, and I'm going to put that over here. I'll do it right here. So I believe this inequality would be a less than symbol, because dashed means not equal to, and below means less than. Y is less than 2x plus 3. My final answer is going to go right here, so I'll put it y is less than 2x plus 3. Okay, now the blue line. So now I think the y-intercept is right here. So it's a little tough to see. So that y-intercept is right there at 4. So I think my b value is 4. And now I think that this is a nice point, which is down 1 and right 1. So I believe that my slope is down 1, right 1, which is a slope of -1. So my equation is y equals -1x plus 4. Now, based off the blue line, I see it's a solid line, which means equal to, and I think the blue shading is above, this way. So I believe the equation here would be y is greater than or equal to, I don't need the -1, I just need -x plus 4. And there you go. And that would create my system. Y is less than 2x plus 3, y is greater than or equal to -x plus 4. Okay, last problem here. Kind of a shorter video, I hope, for you, as I try to make every video as short as I can. I'm going to move this real fast to maybe up here. Okay, so it says, word problem, Malia has $500 to purchase water bottles and pairs of socks for a fundraiser for her school's cross-country team. She needs to buy a total of at least 200 items without buying too many of just one item. What graph shows the possible numbers of water bottles and pairs of socks that Malia should buy? All right, great. So we are going to use Desmos to graph this for us. It's a word problem. However, we do need to set up the equations or the inequalities for this problem. So it says that she has $500 to purchase, right? So this is money, and so is this and this, right? And then she has a total she can spend, or a number of items she can spend, at least 200 items. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is, because water bottles is mentioned first, I'm going to let x equal the number of water bottles we buy. And I'm going to let y equal the number of pairs of socks we buy, right? Number of socks. It should be pairs, but number of pairs of socks. I'm sorry, just to be number of pairs of socks. Okay, so for my first inequality with the 500, I know that I cannot spend more than $500. So 2, the price of a water bottle, so 2 times x plus 3 times y must be less than or equal to 500. This is my budget, right? This is my budget. And then for my second equation, for the items, well, I'm going to buy x water bottles, and I'm going to buy y pairs of socks. And if I want it to be at least 200, that means that 200 is the lowest it can be, but it needs to be greater than 200. So at least or greater than. So at least means equal to or greater than 200. And this is for the items. Now notice over here on this graph, and I guess I'll use Desmos so you don't need this graph. If you want to write it down in your notes, we will together. But notice over here, it's the first quadrant, because when you do a word problem, remember that your domain and range are typically positive numbers. So our domain would be, not y, x. X greater than or equal to 0. And our range would be y greater than or equal to 0. That's why you're the first quadrant. So I'm going to go to Desmos and graph this with you. Right? I'm going to show you how. Okay, so I should be able to click here and go right to Desmos. Yes. Love the built-in links. All right, so again, what I'm going to do is click and drag this over here. Okay, and I'm going to zoom out 1. So now this is the first quadrant, right? Positive x, positive y. I'm going to type in that first inequality. Now you'll notice here that in the keyboard, here's your inequality symbols, right? So it's got to be 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to, right here, less than or equal to 500. And now notice here there's this red shading, right? Well, this is, how can I say? I mean, we need to have our right x and y axes, right? So 500, right? Let's change our window, if you remember how to do this, so that we go from 0 to 500. 0 to 500 and 0 to 500. There. Okay? So there, right here, again, this triangle right here, there's where we are right now. Okay? So again, I just changed my scale because I saw this 500. Okay, let's type in the second inequality. X plus y is greater than or equal to, got to bring up that keyboard again, greater than or equal to 200. Okay, and you'll notice here where the shaded region is, right? It's this purple region right here. This is our solution. Okay, so I'm going to graph this on our coordinate plane. So it looks like 100, 100 is the point where they intersect. And again, I'm just going to kind of fudge this, right? So I know the blue line is from 200 to 200, so I can do that real fast. And then the red one looks like it's from like, what? These are by 20s, so like 170 to 250, right? So red is 170 on y, 250 on x, and then the blue is 200 on both. Okay? So I'll come back here. Great. It has my stuff still saved. I'm going to click here. Okay. So on here, this is my bottles. And this is my pairs of socks. And like I said, on my y, if I'm going by, like, we'll count by 20s. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, and again, I know 250 is out here, so I apologize. So for my for this equation, right, the red one, my y was up at around 170, so 100, 20, 40, 60, so around 170 and 250, so somewhere just beyond. And this was a solid line. And my blue was both at 200s, so 200 here, 200 here, and it was also a solid line. And then that shaded region they did in purple was right here, right? With the point where they intersect right around 100, 100. So again, this point right here should be 100, 100. So again, I'm just doing my best to have a rough sketch. That's a 100. So this is the solution space right here. It is within these numbers that you should choose a number of bottles and pairs of socks you should buy. Okay, so again, hopefully you see that through this we are able to use Desmos to help us. Again, do as much graphing by your hand as possible, but once it gets to these big numbers, why not use the Desmos graphing calculator? All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in class.